Okay. Alright, we are back to talking about trains instead of me sitting in front of the camera and talking about nonsense. I also found out that those videos didn't get a lot of views, so it was just something to try, but we'll be back to trains now, and less of me in front of the camera yabbering about goofy shit. So, today we are going to be looking at the general set that Lionel did in 1977, I think. Or was it 76? I think it was 77. So anywho, this journal was released in 77, I do believe. And initially, when it was released by MPC, Lionel, it was the only item being offered in the Old West or Civil War style, whatever you want to call it. No cars are offered that year. It's essentially just a rehash of the post-war version. Features smoke. I'm trying to remember. That's right. It doesn't have magnet traction, and it's also got kind of an oddball thing. It doesn't have neutral. It just says forward and reverse with its E unit. Not sure why they did that, but for some reason or another, that's what they did. The colors are a little bit off, a little different. It's not an exact duplicate, but all in all, I think it's a pretty good rendition to the General. The only thing is, if you've never seen one of these in person, they are kind of oddly sized. They're actually too big. A scale 440 American would actually be smaller than this. So they're actually a little bigger to actually fit, a motor and everything in them. So seeing as how most Lionel trains are a little shrunk down to more what we could also consider a conventional or traditional size, these are a little bit bigger. When you kind of see that Santa Fe Hudson back there. When you put some of these together next to each other, they do look a little silly. So that is something to be aware of. The other weird thing with these is the way the motor's put in them. They do not freely roll, so we will have to pull him out of there. But while we're doing that, get you a nice look at the tender. These are nice trucks they put on these, make them look a little bit more old styled. Let's get the General up here. Get you a nice view of that guy. A lot of nice detailing on these guys. They're pretty nice, actually. They did. Lionel did a good job on these guys. It's a very, very nice model. So the next year, they came out with the cars. And they are exactly what you'd expect if you're familiar with the post-war General sets. Zoom in a little bit there. And pick her up. Okay. You got the horse car first off. It's exactly what it says. Got the trusses under there for that old-time look. These got fast angle bearing wheels, or needle point bearing wheels. Functioning couplers. I mean, it's exactly what it says. When you get these new, this one actually was new in package when I got it. You do have to assemble everything, and these do switch around. You got some horses. It's exactly what it looks like. Things do sort of switch a little bit now when you get to the passenger cars. This is the baggage car, or mail car, combo car. Lionel does kind of change the names on it once in a while. Now this guy, if you're familiar with the post-war cars, they did kind of do something a little different on these. Let me try to get that. There we go. These from the 70s, and you can kind of see it in there just a little bit. The couplers on these are attached to the trucks, and they got the ability to matriculate on their own for tighter curves. Now, the original post-war ones actually have a boss here, and then they have little short knuckles that actually, I think they rivet on. I think they rivet on right there, and then the trucks on those do not have the couplers on them. Why they changed from that, why they went to this, why they did that originally, I don't know, but it is something to be aware of on these, is the couplers changed. Now these are illuminated. One thing about them, this plastic is kind of translucent, so when I fire this up a little bit, you will get to see the glow through it really bad. It's just the nature of what they got going on there. Then they follow up with the passenger car. It's pretty standard. Nothing too spectacular with that. Push these guys out, and I'll get this guy back set up so we can run this in a minute. But before that, I'm going to try something a little different, something I haven't really done on a video before, since this is the month to try new things. I went ahead and I got the boxes together so that we can look at the packaging they put these in, because it's actually kind of neat. So we'll go over here and zoom out a little bit. Now I got a really good deal on these guys because they were unrun, brand new. But the boxes, as you can see there, as we're still zoomed in, were unfortunately quite waterlogged. Put that guy right there. And I really think that Lionel was really hitting it out of the park in the 70s on the packaging, you know, because it's not just a generic package. It's got, you know, this is the general, this is, you know, these are the features. Point out here, it's a 440, talks about a little bit of it. This side, they just advertise a couple other items that they got for sale. And then the bottom, you got a nice little diagram explaining the features. Pretty cool, you know. Brass boiler bands, smoking, metal wheels, you know, needle point bearings. And then on the back, you actually get the story and some nice pictures. And I just think it's a really nice packaging. And the folks at Lionel at the time should be very proud of that. After that, the rest of the packaging, again, most of these are waterlogged. We got the horse car, which, you know, it's a sharp looking box. Shows the whole lineup. And of course some, come on. Try to focus here. Oh, it ain't doing it now. Well, anyways, as you can see, oh, there we go. And then the story of the general, again, is regaled again on this one. And then, this here was the box for the mail car. As you can see, again, pretty much the same stuff, just done a little bit differently with a picture box. Because the, like I said, the horse car is all in pieces when you get it. And then here's a, oh, this is the baggage car, that was a coach, sorry. And you see it had a sticker there, and then on the end. This one's in a little bit better shape, but as you can see, more of the same. So the last thing we're going to go over, which I thought would be kind of neat, because I just recently got some of my catalog collection put together. Where do we go? So I thought this would be kind of fun to do. And here is the Lionel 1977 catalog. That kid gives me the creeps. These are the steam locomotives that year. The C&O Hudson, the Southern Crescent was the hot things that year. Then they got a little switcher. And over here, there's the General in its first catalog appearance. And then later on in the year, Lionel used to do these flyers pretty regularly. And these would be sent out to advertise special things going on at the end of the year. to entice dealers to order them. Here is the first mention that rolling stock is coming. And then subsequently, in our 78 catalog, woohoo, there it is in all its glory, advertised together. As you can see, there's the Southern Crescent, now advertised with its coaches, and the new that year is the infamous, famous, always well-known Blue Comet. This Blue Comet's actually kind of an interesting set. I kind of touched on it when I was talking about my Alton set. Kind of combined a couple of interesting things. So that boiler had never been used. That boiler kit has never been used with this feed water heater style front end, so that was kind of an interesting combo. The tender, as you can see, is still using four-wheel trucks like the Southern Crescent, but if you look at those coaches, they have upgraded them to six-wheel trucks to be a little bit more prototypical. As you can see, the Southerns down there still use four-wheel trucks, and then they have frame-mounted couplers on them, but they are functioning couplers. Up to that point, all the Baby Madisons have been using stationary style non-functioning couplers, so that was kind of a big deal. So it's kind of interesting to kind of see the history of these things as they go. So let's zoom in on this guy a little bit, and we'll run around the track a little bit. This one actually, when I was picking this up at the train shop, they actually had some the JT's Mega Smoke there, and they actually had some of the cedar smelling smoke, so I went ahead and got that because it is a wood burner. It ought to smell like smoke or wood. So it kind of gives it an extra interesting little aurora down here once in a while. So I will walk around the table, get this fired up, and I'll be right back. Now, one major difference that I did forget to mention between this setup and the original post-war is in the post-war era they did not have a whistle that could fit inside the tender. So the whistle was actually here in one of the coaches. So if you get an original post-war general set, if it was one of the higher end sets, it'll generally have a whistle inside one of the passenger cars. The lower end sets, I don't believe, had that function. And then as far as the Lionel MPC era goes, the General would actually see a couple more releases, quite a few actually, which is interesting. Not long after this set, a Union Pacific JCPenney exclusive 440 would come out. It would never have any additional cars released, which is kind of a shame. There would also be the Rock Island and Peoria. That was a separate single release by itself. These weren't printed in sets, which would feature that and the UP actually both featured a chrome boiler. Easy smudging. I've actually had a couple of opportunities to pick up that Rock Island and Peoria set. Beautiful, but I am so worried about that chrome-plated boiler. But it featured the baggage car and two coaches. And then a couple more different oddball starter sets would be put out. One of the really beautiful ones would be a B&O passenger set as a starter set. It features a DC can motor in it, though. So you do need to be a little careful with some of these as they are powered by DC can motors. They typically won't have a light or smoke or any of that kind of nonsense. Sort of an ultimate general through MPC era would be released finally, and I think late 86, right at the end of their run of owning Lionel, and would be offered as an exclusive through American Express, I believe. It was pretty much this exact set, but with the addition of a traditional small stock car, just a basic stock car that was lettered for the Western and Atlantic. That set's kind of hard to find. It also does feature a CAN motor, but it can run on AC, and that's kind of the precursor to the modern General as we know it today, because when LTI came into existence the following year, they basically ran with that design, and subsequent Generals until they probably moved over to Chinese production essentially were the exact same way. But yeah, it's a nice set. Glad to have one. You'll also notice there's no noise from this. This was not blessed or cursed, depending on how you feel about it, with the mighty sound of steam, as there was probably no way they could fit it in this. I don't think I really got anything else to say about it. But yeah, I'll shut up and let you watch that go around a few more times, and we'll be done. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it, and we'll be back on schedule here soon.